the specific steps we've got lined up, you'll see exactly how to navigate right past it. So let's jump in. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We'll start with the reality of having zero experience, then explore path 1, easy microtasks, next path 2, skilled freelancing. Then we'll completely shift gears for path 3, selling on Meesho, and wrap up with how to actually win at e-commerce.
All right, kicking things off with part 1, the zero experience reality.
So it's the ultimate question, right? Can you actually start earning online with literally zero money and zero experience? If you're really trying to break into this space, this is hands down the biggest hurdle you're going to face. You want to pitch clients, but you've got no portfolio. You want to take on projects, but you have no track record to prove you won't just completely drop the ball.
To keep things completely real here, Adam Palmer from Freelance King puts it pretty bluntly. It's going to be a little challenging. And, that's just the honest truth. As Palmer points out, the digital marketplace is fiercely competitive. At the end of the day, clients want experienced workers, because honestly, an inexperienced freelancer who messes up a project and forces a total do-over, that's literally the most expensive hire a client could possibly make.
So how exactly do we bridge that massive gap? Well, Palmer suggests this really brilliant scaffolding strategy. First up, hire yourself. Look at your own latent skills and passions and just do projects on your own time. By doing this, you're gaining safe, hands-on experience, which then lets you build up a public portfolio and profile that looks super attractive to actual clients. You're basically building undeniable proof of your competence way before you ever ask anyone for a paycheck.
Moving right along to our first actionable route. Part 2, path 1, easy microtasks.
Now, what's really interesting is comparing the trade-offs between these entry-level platforms. Take FreeCash, for example. The whole vibe there is pretty fun. You're playing games, taking surveys, and they even throw in a $5 sign-up bonus and some high cashback offers. Now contrast that with MTurk, or Amazon Mechanical Turk. It's fast, straightforward data entry, but the pay is notoriously low, and if you're outside the US, you're basically stuck with Amazon vouchers instead of cold, hard cash. And sitting kind of right in the middle is Clickworker. They offer easy, flexible tasks like recording AI voice snippets or submitting photos, though the workflow and the pay can be pretty inconsistent.
Now, if you want to scale things up a bit, there are massive platforms out there like Freelancer and Hubstaff Talent. Hubstaff actually sits really comfortably right between those tiny microtasks and full-blown freelancing. But a quick heads up here, these giant open platforms are kind of notorious for spammy job listings. Seriously, don't let the sheer volume of posts overwhelm you. Keep your focus incredibly tight and always double-check that a listing is legit before you apply.
All right, stepping things up a notch. Part 3, path 2, skilled freelancing. There's just a massive contrast between the two heavyweights in this space. On one hand, you have Fiverr. It's fantastic for that initial organic push if you've really polished your profile. But, and it's a big but, they take a steep 20% cut right out of your earnings. On the flip side, Upwork is definitely more upmarket. It gives you access to higher value, super reliable clients, but it requires actual skills verification tests. And here's the kicker. You actually have to pay money to buy connects just to send out your proposals. You're basically paying for the privilege to pitch.
But what if you're aiming for the absolute pinnacle of the freelance world? Well, that's where TopTal comes into play. This is pretty much the holy grail for highly skilled workers. They rigorously vet everyone who applies, literally only accepting the top 3% of freelance talent. Sure, it is a grueling process to get in, but once you make the cut, you are completely shielded from that endless mass competition. Plus, you get access to top-tier pay and long-term contracts with global heavyweights like Shopify and Kraft Heinz.
Let's shift gears completely now and see how this builds. Part 4, path 3, selling on Meesho. If you're someone who doesn't want to trade hours for digital services and you'd much rather sell physical products, this is an absolutely huge alternative. 0%. Let that sink in. That is the commission Meesho takes on sales across literally all of its product categories. For anybody trying to bootstrap an online business with limited capital, this is just a monumental advantage. It means you actually get to keep your full profit margins on every single order without stressing about the platform taking a massive slice of the pie like we saw over on Fiverr.
So practically speaking, what do you actually need to get started? The barrier to entry here in the Indian e-commerce market is shockingly low. We're talking basic stuff, a PAN card, standard bank details with your IFSC code so you can actually get paid locally, and a simple utility bill or rental agreement for address proof. But here's the really crucial part. While a GST number is usually the standard requirement, if you don't have full GST registration yet, you can simply apply for an EID or enrollment ID. Basically, you can officially launch your seller journey without getting bogged down in complex tax registrations right out of the gate.
And according to the experts at Ecom Dignity, the whole registration process takes less than 5 minutes. It's so simple. You just verify your phone with an OTP, select your tax status by plugging in that EID we just talked about, drop in your pickup and bank info, and boom, you instantly get access to the Misho Seller Hub and can start uploading your catalogs right away. It is incredibly streamlined.
Now, if you're serious about running a business, you already know that cash flow is the absolute lifeblood of your operation. Reassuringly, the source material highlights that your settlements, whether they are prepaid or cash-on-delivery orders, are processed every 7 days after an order is delivered. That money goes straight into your linked bank account. No waiting around for weeks or months just to see the return on your hard work.
Which brings us to our final segment, Part 5, Winning at E-commerce.
Signing up is really just the beginning, right? Ecom Dignity shares some fantastic rapid-fire tips to actually grow those sales. First, keep your titles packed with short, hyper-relevant keywords so the algorithm knows exactly what you're selling. Also, keep your pricing aggressively competitive within your category because buyers are always comparing. Honestly, even a tiny tweak in price can massively spike your conversion rates. You'll also want to refresh your catalog often to show your store is active and bring in more eyeballs. And finally, ship those orders out fast to build buyer trust and push hard for customer feedback. Strong social proof is simply one of the biggest drivers of online sales, hands down.
But it's equally important to know what not to do. Definitely avoid throwing up incomplete listings that are missing basics like size charts. Do not set wild, unrealistic prices that completely miss the common average for your category. And never sit on orders. Processing slowly just invites cancellations. Don't try to save a few pennies with flimsy packaging either, because travel damage leads directly to furious customers. And lastly, keep a really close eye on your out-of-stock items. If someone orders something you can't fulfill, you're forced to cancel it, and that will absolutely tank your seller rating on the platform.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground in this explainer. From navigating the reality of having zero experience to using low-barrier microtask platforms right through to launching a physical e-commerce storefront. So I'm going to leave you with this one vital question. Whether it's the highly accessible route of easy microtasks, the scalable climb of skilled freelancing, or diving headfirst into zero-commission e-commerce, which path are you going to choose today to start your online business? The very next step is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope this dive into the digital economy has given you exactly what you need to take action.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and build a complete roadmap for launching a lucrative remote career from absolutely nothing in 2026. Today, we're cutting through all the noise and focusing entirely on actionable, structured steps to get you earning online right from your home office.
Now, you might be wondering about the ultimate roadblock for beginners. How on earth do you land a remote job when literally every single post demands 2 years of experience? It's the classic experience paradox, and yeah, it is incredibly frustrating. But the data actually shows us a backdoor. And today, we're going to completely dismantle that barrier using proven strategies to bypass the traditional gatekeepers.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, the learning foundation. Second, side hustles and quick wins. Third, remote jobs without experience. Fourth, launching your freelance career. And fifth, mastering high-income skills. We're taking you on a journey from foundational study habits all the way to commanding high-income skills, so let's hit our first stop.
Section 1. The Learning Foundation. Study smarter, not harder. Because before you can earn, you really need to learn effectively. And we're borrowing techniques straight from top Harvard students to make sure your brain is primed for success.
What's really interesting here is the 50-10 rule. You absolutely do not need to grind for hours on end to master a new digital skill. Instead, study for 50 intensely focused minutes, and then just take 10 minutes off. Keep your phone on airplane mode, eliminate the distractions, and make those 50 minutes count. Doing this 3 to 4 times a day will boost your focus and peak efficiency immensely. And to truly lock in that knowledge, you've got to rely on the Feynman technique. It perfectly proves that simplifying complex ideas is the true secret to mastering new skills quickly. The steps are just brilliantly logical. Read to know the material. Write it out to master it. Teach it to a 5-year-old to expose the gaps in your knowledge. And finally, refine it until it's crystal clear. Because if you can't explain it simply, well, you haven't mastered it yet.
Section 2. Side hustles and quick wins. Zero investment required. Now that we know how to learn, let's look at immediate, zero investment ways to put some actual cash in your pocket from home.
You can literally get paid via PayPal just to test products and websites with user testing, making this an incredible entry-level side hustle. Best-in-class brands are absolutely desperate for human feedback. All you have to do is answer screening questions, fill out surveys, or complete recorded tests while just speaking your thoughts aloud. You can even conduct live video conversations with clients. It's a fantastic, low-stress way to start generating an income stream.
And as your skills grow across freelancing, tutoring, and dropshipping, your realistic earning potential scales dramatically. Data from CIIM shows beginners pulling in around 5 to 20,000 rupees a month, all the way up to advanced earners easily crossing that 1 lakh threshold. It really all comes down to consistency.
Moving right along to Section 3, remote jobs without experience. Stop calling yourself a fresher. Let's transition into landing a structured remote job. And to do this, we need to completely shift how you view your own background.
So the crucial point to remember is right here. No experience definitely does not mean no skills. Companies in 2026 care about your ability to use tools and actually manage workflows, not just traditional job titles. They're looking for problem solvers, not just people with perfectly linear resumes.
This is exactly where reframing your past into transferable skills changes the game. Once you do this, you instantly make yourself an attractive candidate for entry-level remote work. Think about it for a second. Did you run a WhatsApp group for your local club? Congratulations, that's community management. Were you the one replying to emails at a front desk? That translates directly to virtual assistants. You have the skills, you just need to package them correctly. There's massive demand right now for entry-level roles like AI data annotation, where you review AI outputs for $15 to $25 an hour, and often they just require a quick skills test rather than a traditional interview. You also have fantastic entry points in junior marketing operations, customer success, being a niche virtual assistant, or content editor.
But to actually get your foot in the door, you have to beat the AI resume screening bots. If your resume just says, hard worker willing to learn, it's going to be instantly vaporized by the system. A good resume says, organized professional with experience in CRM management and Asana workflows. Always ethically stuff your resume with the exact keywords from the job description.
Section 4. Launching your freelance career. Breaking the experience paradox. Now, if you'd prefer to be your own boss, let's look at how to launch a freelance writing career without getting stuck in that experience paradox we talked about earlier.
Technical competence in something called semantic SEO is what truly elevates you above the massive pool of entry-level writers and grabs a marketing manager's attention. It's no longer about mindlessly stuffing standard keywords, it's about writing content structured around concepts that perfectly match a user's underlying search intent.
But how do you prove you can do this with zero past clients? You use the Spec Portfolio Protocol. This completely bypasses the need for past clients because you're actively creating your own digital authority from scratch. First, simulate a live assignment for a target company. Second, write an optimized 1,000-word guide. Third, publish it on open platforms like Medium so you have a live link. And finally, secure guest posts for that crucial social proof. Once you have that portfolio ready, you must pivot to a specialist positioning immediately. A generalist writer just drowns in high competition and way lower rates, but a specialist focusing on high-value niches like B2B tech, finance, or health builds immense topical authority, and that allows you to command significantly higher rates. So how do we actually land these clients? Enter the cold pitch formula. Reaching out directly on platforms like Apollo.io with a tailored message to a company's CEO yields a much higher return on investment than battling 500 other applicants on a crowded job board. You give them a specific hook, a strong value proposition, and a link to that spec portfolio you just built. It's direct, and it works.
Final stop. Section 5. Mastering high-income skills. The future of digital earning. Let's move to our last phase and see how all of this builds into securing truly high-income skills for the long term. This is how you future-proof your career. According to Athena, these are the exact skill sets you can start learning online right now completely for free that offer the absolute strongest job growth. We're talking data science, blockchain development, artificial intelligence, digital marketing, data analytics, and project management. The barrier to entry here is literally just your own dedication. To put that into perspective, look at this staggering number, $156,000. That is the median annual pay for advertising and marketing managers in the US alone. It just proves the immense value of mastering something like digital marketing and SEO. Pair technical writing skills with data-driven marketing and you become incredibly valuable.
And diving into deep tech like AI and blockchain yields incredibly lucrative, stable, long-term career opportunities. We're seeing data scientists pulling $110,000, AI engineers at $115,000 plus, and blockchain developers leading the pack at over $120,000. This is the ultimate destination of that learning foundation we discussed at the very beginning.
You have the complete roadmap now, from studying effectively to landing zero-experience remote jobs to pitching direct clients, all the way to scaling into deep tech. The tools are literally right in front of you. So the only question left is, what high-income skill will you start learning today to claim your spot in the 2026 remote economy? A year from now, will you be right where you are, or will you be a key player? The choice is absolutely yours. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're unpacking a really massive shift in how we work and, more importantly, how we earn. If you look at the data for the 2026 digital economy, you'll see the real barrier to entry. It isn't money. It isn't even traditional experience. It's literally just a lack of a clear roadmap. So we're going to break down the exact strategies from our source material on how you can build one entirely from scratch. Here's our leveling ladder for today. We'll start at zero experience and zero capital, then move up to level 1 with quick digital wins. After that, we climb to level 2 for the freelance path, secure stable remote jobs in level 3, and finally, we hit level 4, acquiring high-income skills. Section 1. Zero experience, zero capital. Let's break this barrier down. Now, what's super interesting about this is the massive mindset shift that's happening right now. The old world, it obsessed over job titles and fancy degrees, but the 2026 reality is entirely about transferable skills and tool mastery. Honestly, do you think you have no experience? Well, have you ever managed a busy WhatsApp group for a local club or maybe your housing society? Guess what? You actually possess highly desirable corporate skills like community management and digital communication. It's really all about reframing what you already do every single day. So the crucial point boils down to this. Your portfolio serves as your degree in the freelance economy, and this completely debunks that dreaded, infinitely frustrating experience paradox. You know the one, right? Needing experience to get a job, but needing a job to get the experience. In the age of AI and digital publishing, tangible proof of what you can actually do beats a traditional paper resume every single time. It's all about showing, not just telling. All right, moving on to level 1, quick digital wins. This is where you start earning today. It's actually fascinating to see the specific platforms where you can start earning your very first digital dollars without any complex setups. We're talking sites like Swagbucks and YSense that offer microtasks and surveys. Then there's user testing. They literally pay you just to share your perspective on new apps and websites. Oh, and then there's Instagram-based dropshipping via WhatsApp. This is a zero investment business model where you curate products, promote them on social media, and the suppliers handle all the shipping. You've got zero inventory and zero financial risk. It's a pretty sweet setup. But hey, let's anchor our expectations here for a second. 14 days. While these quick wins absolutely will not make you a millionaire overnight, they do offer reliable, consistent payouts. For example, platform usability testing sites typically send your payments exactly 14 days after you complete a recorded test. It's just a fantastic way to build your confidence and get that first dollar flowing in. Okay, level 2, the freelance path. Time to start trading time for skills. Remember a minute ago what the sources said about your portfolio being your degree? Well, here is an incredibly actionable protocol for creating a speculative portfolio totally out of thin air. Step 1, simulate a live assignment for a target company. Step 2, write a high-quality 1,000-word guide that solves a specific problem for them. And Step 3, publish it on open platforms like Medium or LinkedIn. Oh, and a really helpful tip from the data here. Please avoid sending Word documents. A live link provides immediate digital authority and a ton of psychological validation to your potential clients. And this brilliantly illustrates the trade-offs of getting clients once that portfolio is actually built. Marketplaces like Upwork, they have a low barrier to entry but usually offer lower pay. They're basically great sandboxes to get your first few testimonials. Then you have content mills, which offer super easy work but terrible pay. But the real insight here is cold pitching. Reaching out directly to companies requires some sales skills, sure, but it yields the highest pay, easily netting you 10 cents or more per word.